What's good? Good morning. There is a massive sort of spiritual but also material gender war going on right now. I believe it is uh, mostly manufactured, but does have true sort of spiritual roots, in my opinion. When I look at sort of the evolution of humanity as much as you can with our current history books, etc., I see a world where uh, societies have not always been good to women and to children also. Uh, Pederasty is really common in human history, as well as other forms of sexual violence, just to be direct. And so I believe that underpins some of our issues. But then also, I believe when we have social engineers who are manufacturing division between the genders, uh, we're experiencing a one-two punch that is preventing people from forming divine sacred unions. The union of the masculine and the feminine, the union of two becoming one. I'm not a Christian, right? I'm loosely, I would be willing to admit, loosely affiliated with the conscious community. But even under that umbrella, there's a lot of subgroups, and I don't really ever want to be identified with a specific group. I believe there is a nebulous nature to ideas and our reality, and so I try not to be tied down to anything too concrete. But anyways, okay. But I still believe that there is something meaningful in two people coming together to create a family, to continue civilization, because you quite literally need procreation to continue the gift. And so, right now, we have all of these toxic manosphere influencers. Andrew Tate was big for a while, but there's new ones now. But then there's also the people like Nick Fuentes, and so a lot of young men, by design, are being pushed into these really, really toxic ideologies and narratives, and they're being pushed away from a more positive potential narrative and direction. And again, because if you can control the narrative, you can control people's minds, and that's what they've been doing. A significant portion of modern day media is just pure propaganda, and that sucks to sort of think about and to try to actually embody, that most of the people that you grew up watching and liking are just frauds. I've gone through it myself. I'm to the point now where I pretty much don't trust or like anyone in the media in any capacity, whether it be some more of the smaller niche YouTube channels or like the larger YouTube channels or radio hosts or news people. I don't even news. Fuck the news. Anyways, let's get back on subject. Okay. I believe it is our duty within the conscious community, the spiritual community, but also, anyone who just wants to resist tyranny and evil. It is our duty to be an influence for the young men who are struggling. Uh, also the young women as well, but because I'm a guy, I'm trying to speak to young men more specifically. And it's been really crappy in that I've been single for the last 7 years. It's wild to think about. But it's also been a blessing because in that time, I've done so much personal growth and development that really exposed to me I was not ready for a serious relationship. And even now, I mean, I think I am, but I'm not confident I am. And so I definitely believe there's still more work to do. it was not until very recently that if you were to ask me what I wanted in a partner, in a wife, I'd have a better answer than even the one I'm about to try to provide. Uh, it's because it's always been something that I had the want for this thing, but I couldn't really describe it. And so, how do you manifest something if you can't describe it? And so, I'll attempt here now. You know, obviously, beauty is subjective, but I would like a beautiful wife. Who doesn't want a beautiful wife? And I find beauty in all different ways and all different women. So that one's not tough. You know, won't be hard to find a beautiful wife. But where I think it would be more difficult is finding someone who matches me. And one example, a few examples, or someone who complements me. Compliments with an E, not an I. Um, I used to be a massage therapist. I was a pretty darn good massage therapist. I had a sort of, I blend techniques, I'm a bigger guy, and I also have an intuitive sense about me. So I know how much pressure to provide at this point in the journey. I can massage someone and I can get an idea of, oh, it's going to take 20 sessions to sort of reconfigure this tension and to just get the tension out of the body, find ways to get it to allow it to escape. There's energetic elements to that as well, but I'm a good massage therapist. I don't practice now because Washington State is gay and retarded, but anyways, um, I would like to meet a wife that can massage me back, because obviously I'm going to massage her, but I want to be able to, in a sense, give her the type of massage that I would want to receive, and then have her be able to give it back as much as she can within her abilities. She's not going to be as big as me, likely, so you know there will be limitations. And you know, for the record, I will also give her the types of massage that she wants, and so it's very much a two-way street. Where maybe one week I give her the massage that I want, and then she gives me that massage, and then next week she gives me the massage she wants, and then I give her that massage. That sort of reciprocity is something that I desire. But that leads me to believe that she needs to have a certain intuitive ability to be able to understand and replicate techniques and sensations and pressure points and how to feel where to apply more pressure, etc. But she also needs to be somewhat strong, which are two things that apply to many aspects of life beyond just massage. So the intuition for me personally is powerful for my partner to possess, because I'll give a quick example. I've always desired to have my partner be a buffer of sorts, as like a social buffer, and that won't necessarily make sense, but I'll try to have it make sense. I've always been a high energy, naturally charismatic person. Uh, Reading Carl Jung, he described this, I believe it was a Polynesian tribe concept called mana, and I know many cultures have a concept of mana, but in this particular context, it was somebody who has a lot of like spiritual energy, personal energy, right? That just like sort of can draw people in. And my whole life I've had that, and it's been a blessing and a curse. You look at me now and you might not think that, but this is somewhat of a result of me actually trying to push people away a little bit. Anyways, okay. And so having a wife who is intuitive, who can understand and read situations and read when people are beginning to become sort of drawn and attached to me, to have that little bit of a buffer, because there are many times I don't want to be rude, but I also am like, whoa, I need a little bit of space. I'm very, yeah, there's a lot of energy going on, and I can sense other people's energy. And a feminine buffer, I believe, can be just a little bit better at handling certain situations, redirecting energy, etc. Because I don't want to completely shut off certain, relationships or energetic exchanges, but I would like some help buffering them. One example, there's this restaurant I go to. It's partially my fault for building a routine. On Sunday nights, I go there, I eat some pho. God, I love pho. Oh man. Anyways, okay. One of the young man that works there, he has made it a point now where he'll just like sit and hang out with me while I eat and talk to me. And he'll go take care of other customers, but then he'll come back and sometimes he'll eat his lunch with me. And it just, you know, that stuff happens to me all the time where I go and I used to just have my headphones on and I just like my me time, my pho, right? But part of being this masculine sort of guy that people are drawn to, there's a bit of a duty in that. And I often think about boundaries versus duty. Uh, the same reason why just integrated whole masculine men, why animals are often like attracted to them, and kids and people just feel comfortable and safe around them. There's a duty in that when you have that ability. And I didn't fully understand that when I was younger, and I'm very ashamed to say I probably did not utilize my talents for good, particularly in my 20s. Um, I was a Lothario is a good word for it, and so there is some shame, and if there is a message to young men, it's not cool to sleep around. It really isn't. It's cool to maybe possess the charisma that enables such, you know, promiscuity. But what's cool is actually being able to harness and channel that energy and then provide fidelity to a partner. That's actually what's cool. That's called containment. This video is really long and we're getting a little off subject, but containment is also a really good thing young men should be taught about. But they're not, because our ruling elite do not want healthy, integrated, actualized souls. It does not benefit them, their system, their paradigm. And I just want to wrap up, a long video, the strength. So intuition and strength, two key things that I desire in a partner. It takes strength to be that buffer that I was looking for. It takes strength to support someone who has an immense amount of duty and honor in their future, like I believe that I do. This whole existence, this 3D reality we're in, the new earth as we talk about, I believe it is up to us to bring it to fruition. It's a mission. It's going to require commitment, work, duty, sacrifice, and strong people are going to be required to fulfill the mission, which is why I wish to have a strong wife. And there are many other things, but for me personally, just being able to articulate what I want and why, I believe will help with the manifestation process. So a beautiful, strong, intuitive woman who's also giving. That's another thing. I don't want to get too far into it, but giving. I'm the type of person where I can amplify energy provided to me. So if I'm being given really good energy, I'm going to amplify the shit out of that. And also, too, I think I'm a pretty giving person as well in a lot of ways. I'm getting way off subject. This is a super long video, but let me know your thoughts if anything I said sparked good or bad. Thank you very much. Much love.